Just testing to make sure that it works before everybody gets in here. Hello. I'll wait for some people to arrive. And I have to figure out how I can see people. Try Oh, hi. Okay. We'll see how this goes. I thought it was going to have to be on my laptop, but my laptop wasn't working, so I am on my phone. I hope that doesn't mess things up. Yes, I can. I can see the comments. And the comments will show up, they should show up after the video ends. You'll still be able to see the comments, I believe. But we might want to make a note or a post in the actual fans group to let people know to come here instead of looking on the fan page. I don't know, maybe. Hello. If you're coming in, tell me you're here by saying hello so I know who you are. Hi, Cindy. How's your Friday going? Ooh, yeah. When you come in, say hi and then tell me where you're coming in from, too. I'd love to know where people are tuning in from. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Mary Kay. Well, hello as people are coming in. I'll probably say this like 10 times during the video, but I'm Rachel, and I'm the life facilitator on Instagram and on YouTube, and I am on the Cocoa Daisies planner team and memory keeping team, and I'm so excited to be here today to share some stuff with you guys. So I just for fun, I thought I would try showing you my name, just so in case you didn't know who I was. So I am going to wait a few minutes to get some other people in before I start sharing. And hello, Mahala and Melissa. Hi, first time watcher. Well, first time liver, me. So this is first time for everyone, at least for me. And if you're just coming in, let me know where you are coming in from. I'd love to know where you are tuning in from. Hi, Tiffany. Oh, thank you. You're going to make me blush. That's so nice. Ohio, okay. I'm in Miami. That's where I live now, but don't worry about it, Tiffany. Tiffany, you're in California, so you're on like lockdown. Southwest Florida, okay. Well, us Floridians. Michigan, okay, good. Southeast Michigan, awesome. I'm Midwest at heart. I grew up in Chicago suburbs. I went to school in Iowa. I lived in Iowa for a long time. So, yeah, all you Midwesterners have my heart. Lockdown, yep. Well, what could be worse than lockdown and crafting, right? Virginia. Oh, awesome. Cheryl, are you in like the DC metro area, or are you in another area of Virginia? I'm trying not to like slump over, so excuse my slumping. Um, Cindy, you're in California too. Okay, so you're on lockdown and crafting as well. Okay. Um, um, North Carolina. Okay, hour south of DC. Okay. Hi, Paula. By the way. All right, so I think I'm gonna actually jump into this now, and I'm gonna try to say hi to people as they come in. But we are here today to talk about what to do with our crafty, our kit stash, the stuff that we um, sometimes struggle with using, or we maybe hold on to all month, and then at the end of the month we're like, oh shoot, I didn't use it. So um, I. I'm hoping to give you some ideas of some things to do with the leftovers of your kit. We're what, like, it's the 20th, so but I know a lot of us have already gotten our April kits, so we're excited about the April kit. But I want to share some things that we can do to kind of use the rest of our March kit, and also just some ideas of things to do with those kits throughout the month. So the first thing I wanted to say, let me say a couple hellos while people are coming in. Ireland, oh my gosh, hi Karen. Welcome. Kathy, welcome from Los Angeles, also lockdown and crafting, good. And I should also mention, while you're in the live, please get your planners out and your memory keeping out, and do some memory keeping and planning along. I think while it's nice to listen and chat, it's also a great time to actually get some crafting done. So let's start with some ideas for using our kits. So first off, one thing to think about is sort of taking inventory of what's left in your kit. So right now, if you have your kit near you, your March Orchard Path kit, maybe gather it up, bring it all together, give it a little snuggly hug, because this was such a beautiful kit. But also, maybe take some time and think about, like, what are some things that you have left over? Are these things that you have left over every month? Or is it just maybe this month you couldn't figure it out, or couldn't figure out how to use it? I'm sorry, this hair is always in my face. And if you have things in your kit that you tend to have left over every month, maybe that's just because there's a part of the kit that's maybe not a good fit for you. So a good example I would think of is, if you are not somebody who's setting up an entire planner every month, maybe having the planner add-on kit is like the best kit for you, and then like a sticker kit. But then having the full planner kit with the papers and all the other stuff may feel overwhelming. So that's one thing to think about, that if you have the same things left over every month, it may lead you to ask the question, maybe this isn't the right kit for me. Maybe there's another kit that's going to give me better, bang for my buck. But the other thing to think about is, maybe you just haven't had a chance to actually, like, think of other ways to use that product. So somebody mentioned when I posted yesterday that they were wanting more ideas for ways to use the specialty papers. And for me, I think just papers in general, we'll talk about like how to really use and utilize the papers, because to me the papers are like the gold, because they're so versatile. You can use them in so many different ways. And then somebody else asked about how to use up all of the pages of your Daisy Dory, and so we'll talk about that too. So let's start with papers. Show of hands, does it make more sense for me to do a top down, or can I just sort of pull things up to the camera? I would not be offended if people would rather a top down. It might just be easier. Hi, Christine. Hi, Kathy. Oh no, I saw you. I saw Kathy. Send me a comment to tell me if you'd rather me do a top down, because that might be hold up is fine. Okay. Well, if Mary Kay says hold up is fine, then hold up is fine. All right. So let's start with papers. So I know that we have planner girls in here. We've got memory keepers in here. So I'm gonna try to talk a little bit to both of you, to both groups, and a lot of us are a little bit of both. So to start for planners, if you get a kit that has papers, whether it being the planner kit, the dashboard kit, actually most of the kits have some sort of paper in it. Oh, Manky, you're so nice. So we'll talk about that. So one thing to think about for papers is sometimes the papers feel overwhelming because you just see like the paper, and it's hard to think about different ways to use the paper. So one thing I wanted to, and I'll use some like old examples just because that's what I have as well. So for this B6 story, I used some of the papers to make a couple pockets, and I made a couple different kinds of pockets. So I did like a full-on pocket and then a little slit pocket. And the reason I did this is because I was just collecting a bunch of stuff throughout the month that I didn't want to lose, and so I was putting them in the pocket so that I could then later add those little things in to my insert, almost like a junk journal. And this story did end up becoming kind of like a junk journal. So you can see it got real junk journal-y. And that was just because I was traveling that month, and I wanted to use the extra pages to really memory keep in the Dory, as opposed to doing it in a separate place, which I did there as well. So pockets are an awesome way to use up. And as you can see, I guarantee you this pocket was actually just like an extra from like something else that I'd cut out. So pockets are a great way to use up your papers, and they don't have to be big. They can be small, as you can see, and they're really helpful for memory keeping too. So if you have extra papers from a month in memory keeping, you can do the same. You can make the same kind of little pocket in your memory planning pages or in your scrapbook layouts. You could use them in pocket pages as well. So that's a great way to use those extra. I gotta readjust. My chair is like not very comfortable. Okay. Making pockets. So the other thing you can do is using paper scraps as like washi strips. So whenever I always keep literally every scrap, because if you're like me, you like this, it's all so pretty, and so you don't want to get rid of it. So when I see a strip like this is perfect for making and using instead of washi. And I'll show you an example. So here, up on the top of the page, let me just check to see. Yeah, it's fine. So on the top of the page, I used paper strips instead of, and actually I used washi as well, but this is just a paper strip. So just to kind of punch up a journal page or note taking. So those scraps can be really handy just to like punch up a notebook. So if you have, if you're taking notes or if you're journaling, throw a couple of your little scraps on the page, and the chances of you going back to that notebook are strong if you, see your little, I put an alarm on so I wouldn't forget, and now the alarm keeps going off. Sorry, everyone. Okay. And the other thing to do with extra paper, punch it up, use it. So these are the scraps from when I punched these pages, and I punched the pages out and I put them literally everywhere and anywhere in my planners, in my memory keeping, all of that. So, raise your hand if you have a few punches lying around. I know I do. And because I memory keep in the big happy planner, I always punch lots of extra little papers to put in my memory planner, because if you get the memory planner sticker kit, you get a bunch of decorative stickers, but for me, I need I need all of them, and so, but it's easy to punch them if you have a punch to do that, and even if you don't have a punch, you can just cut them out. It's basically a 2 inch by 3 inch rectangle. Let me stop there for a second. How we doing? Are those ideas making sense so far? We can't read it anyways. Oh, that's true. Good point. Okay, so yeah, punching the paper, so changing the style of the paper, so either to make it circles, squares, diamonds, tags, whatever, punch up that paper, because you'll be so much happier you use the paper than not using it, and using it in different formats is really nice. So the other thing that I'm going to kind of combine together is paper and the pocket cards. So to me, the pocket cards and the paper are sort of like they go hand in hand. This is just another great little a little piece of paper for me, and it's 3x4. I'm not a pocket page scrapbooker, but I use the heck out of these pocket pages, or these pocket cards, either turned to the side in my happy planner, or I'll just punch it up, and I have the absolutely glorious big happy planner pink punch. This thing's awesome. And I think I just saw it on sale, maybe at Michael's or Joann's, but it's awesome. So this little punch, and I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to punch it. So stick that page in, boom, punched. And then I have a little sheet that goes perfectly in. Dun, 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 dun. My big happy planner. So here's my happy planner. Here's that punched paper. Glorious! It's so great. So don't be afraid of the papers. The papers are everything. They're so great. If you don't have the punch, which there's no big deal, you don't have to have the punch. You can always make a template for whatever your size you're needing. You can always make a template. This is actually table mat, plastic table mat, and you can just cut it out and it works perfectly. It actually works exactly the same. I just have this thing about punching things. I really like punching stuff. Not people, not just paper. I like punching paper. And so, but this is a great alternative, and these table mats are like $1. So you can just cut them to whatever size you need, and you can do that too. So that's an option. I store my extra little pre-punched papers in my happy planner in a pocket page, just so that I always have them. So that's an option. And the other thing too with the pocket cards, so you get a pocket card like this, and this is what I love about Cocoa Daisy is that there's a design, but it's like you get to do whatever you want with the design. So one thing that I have found myself doing is doing a bunch of layering on the like using this pocket card as the canvas, and then just putting all my little layers on it, using the extra papers or whatever I've punched out. So these are really a great option. And even though they don't, I wanted to show, way too organized. That is, my mom would be so proud. My mom used to say I was only organized about things that I cared about. So you should see my room. You should see my closet. Woo, it's brutal. The car, my husband would agree. The car is a hot mess. So I wanted to mention too, here's an example of, this is one of the papers from the Traveler's Notebook. Well, that's true. I guess that's a good point, Mary Kay. Why would you organize something you don't care about? That's really good. So here's one of the papers, and here's that paper in my Big Happy Planner. I put it over 4 boxes. So basically it's a 4x6 vertical background for my 3x4 photo. So you can see I printed my photo basically the size of a 3x4 card. And then once I printed it, realized it doesn't really like fit in the boxes, but that's okay. I just made a really giant mat for it, added some other elements, and done. This is a great example of a embellishment I was kind of hoarding all month, and I was sort of like, I don't want to use it. And then finally I was just like, slap it down on the page, give it a home, because giving it a home in my storage or in my non-used pile is way sadder than just putting it on the page. So papers, I feel like we went pretty far with papers, right? So using papers to embellish journals and notebooks. I actually had this idea the other day to embellish. Let me give an example. So like how you're reading a book and the book ends, like the chapter ends and there's like some extra space here. I just had this idea of like, what if you embellished some of your favorite chapters of a book with stuff from your kit. And so like, adding a little pocket card and then maybe some washi and some of those beautiful florals. Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be so cute? I had this idea as I was finishing a book yesterday, which is a feat in and of itself. Of just actually doing some embellishing and maybe journaling on a page, the last page of a chapter, because you're probably going to go back to whatever book it is, and so wouldn't it be fun to see what that little embellishment when you went back to it? So that's another idea. And then lastly, for papers. Another thing somebody mentioned in the post that I made yesterday was cards. And you better believe I made a card for my grandma because her birthday is next week. And I didn't want to like fully make the cards. So like raise your hand if you're not a card maker. Not me. I've never made a card actually. And I instead used one of my, when you get married, you have hundreds, at least I have hundreds of these cards. Well, something about this to my grandmother saying happy birthday just didn't really do it for me. So instead, I just embellished on top of an already made card, and I used the papers, I used the little alphas, which I love these alphas, and then, a few stickers, a little bit of, just literally the extra stuff that I had. And yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of new card makers like coming out of this season, because we're all going to just want to connect with each other, and, why not make a few cards? Copy other people. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure somebody, this is like, this isn't rocket science. Like, this is pretty easy to do. Yeah, she will love it. I threw in some photos. I'm really excited that she's going to get it. Especially since I was supposed to see her for her birthday, and now I can't. Okay, let's move on. Or actually, before we move on, I'm going to talk about specialty papers, because I did have a request to talk about specialty papers. So my number one go-to for the specialty papers, so that's the acetate, that's the vellum, are bookmarks. So this bookmark is made with the acetate from the classified kit, and then packaging. This is literally one of the packagings. Also, don't throw out the packaging. Use that packaging. It's always beautiful, and it can always be used. So this is the front of the page marker, and all I did was I literally just used clear tape and taped it together, added the tab on top. And so this is how I typically end up using the acetate, because I really love that it's clear, with a little bit of design to it. So that's my favorite way to use the acetate. And I'll show you another. Hold on. I'll show you another example. So this is from last June from the Lemon Grove kit. Another example of, I didn't even do a fold over one. It's just it just goes in like that. For this one, I actually added the little, what's it called? The little, I can never remember what the name of this is. Somebody craftier than me will remember that. But yeah, the acetate is great to use for dividers, or not. Well, dividers, but also page markers. Pom-pom French, thank you. And then I also love adding the acetate around, if you're using Traveler's Notebook inserts, I love adding the acetate around the insert. And the front of an insert, I just think it looks fun. It also protects the insert. Yep, pom-poms, you guys are so helpful. So that's another way to use the acetate, but also just to use the acetate as you would any paper, and just kind of don't worry about the fact that you might see some adhesive through it. So here is an example of how I use the rest of the acetate. I literally just adhered it to the page, and wherever there was adhesive, that's where the pocket card went. So I kind of was somewhat strategic with the adhesive, but also you'd never be able to tell, but there's adhesive up here, and then there's a little more adhesive down here. So the tricky part sometimes with acetate is the fact that it's see-through, and so it's kind of hard to adhere it without the adhesive showing through. But my trick is just hide it, or just doesn't matter. It's not going to ruin the page if a little bit of glue is showing. So that's one way to use the acetate. The other way to use the vellum is to use it as a tip-in to cover something that maybe you don't want shown. And you know what? I have 10 planners sitting here, and I totally forgot the one planner that has the vellum. I'm gonna go run and get it. You guys talk amongst yourself. Hold on. the things I do for you. Okay. Woo! Hair got crazy. Also, I wish I could film this in my little craft space. I have the most like glorious, cutest little craft space, but I have no Wi-Fi. So I'm like in a corner in my bedroom. It's fine. Okay. Back to the scheduled program. So here's how I used the acetate this month to cover something that I journaled about that I wanted covered. So I just made a little flip, but I used the vellum as I would paper. It's just vellum. This one's so fun too. This is the all of those quote bubbles. I loved the quote bubbles, don't get me wrong. There were just a lot of them, and so I just decided to start using them literally everywhere. So I will be putting favorite scriptures in these little bubbles. This is my faith journal. And so that's, I hope that helps with the using the specialty papers. But really just use them like you would the other papers. They're just, different. All right, let's roll into, I know the pattern gold is amazing. I know yeah. And that's the thing is I think sometimes it's all so pretty and it's also like just you almost don't want to use it, but you need to fight that urge and just use it, because you really will regret all of that stuff just living in a bag, and then you find it 3 months later and you wish you had used it and then you didn't. It's really just better to use the product, use it. And if you run out of something you love, chances are there'll be a grab bag at some point, or there's so many printables. The printables are like the other gold that we won't even get to tonight, but maybe that's my next stream, is talking about the printables, because I love those too. Okay, let's talk die cuts, shall we? Should we talk about those die cuts? Because if you're like me, and you are not I have ventured into memory keeping, but I didn't start in memory keeping. So die cuts are something that I sometimes completely forget that I even have. And so one thing I like to do with die cuts is those are the things that come out first and get used first. So they get put in pockets, because who doesn't like a good decked out pocket? Look at that pocket! Oh, it's so pretty! So die cuts get put in pockets immediately when I'm setting up a planner. And I'll be honest, I keep a lot of my planners set up because once I find a kit that looks really good in a planner, I just leave it. This lives here now. And because it just matches so perfectly with this planner. And so, dump all the die cuts out so that they're available and easy, and you start there. So then you can see when I'm making my, I have a die cut here, and then I go in and I add die cuts to the pages as well, because I know myself. I know it's going to be the first thing that I completely forget about, because I tend to gravitate towards stickers and stamps. So the die cuts, if I know it's going to be the thing that I forget to use, they get used first, because I don't want them to not get used. I'm going to go, so this is January. Whoop, still set up. February, still set up. I tend to keep my planners set up because, they were pretty the first time, might as well leave it. The other thing I think too with die cuts is not to be afraid to cut them, alter them, make them work for you so that they work in whatever planner style. Yes. Ooh, Tracy, you read my mind. You read my mind. Okay, let me grab my. I used to just like put all of my die cuts in like a little tray, or I'd organize them by like florals and circles and whatever. No, now, and I think part of this is because I get the memory keeping kits now. They get thrown right into that Xyron machine. So I have the big Mama Jamma one. So all of my die cuts get put through the Xyron. And what this helps with too is now it's like a sticker sheet. So now I can actually see all of my little words. And then what I love about this is these actually prompt my journaling. Or prompt my memory keeping the way they're supposed to, because I can actually see them now. So yep, all them circles, hello. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun to just peel them off and then just slap them on the page, rather than like having to like dig. You know you've done it. The die cut dig, that's what I call it. Just kind of like you're just like hoping and praying you find the one you want. And so all of my die cuts get put in through the Xyron machine. The only ones that I didn't put through this month were the speech bubbles, and you better believe I'm going to do that like tonight, because this is how many I have left. So I need to just like put them through the Xyron and then just like use them. Yes. What? No, don't buy anything. Stop buying things. No. Only buy Cocoa Daisy. No, honestly, like, you don't actually, you don't, just hold off on the buying. Just use what you've got. The Xyron is, though, that's a good investment for sure. So Lana, I'm on the Cocoa Daisy planner team and the memory keeping team, so I do get quite a few of the kits. So I get the Traveler's Notebook kit, the Pocket kit, the Planner kit, add-on, and the Classified kit. So I do have a lot of product that I am working with, but I do try to use literally everything. And if I don't, so that's going to be my next stop on this train. Guys, I'm so warm right now. I'm trying to read all the comments. Yes, Christine, a whole spread with them bubbles. I love it. That's a great idea. Okay, well, I'm scrap lifting that from you. Inspired. I will tag you, of course. That's the other thing too, is that if you're ever stuck, like with trying to get inspiration on, how to use this product, I cannot stress enough going to the blog, because that's what a lot of what the design team does, is try to inspire you to use the product in new and interesting ways. And then also like scroll through this fan page. There's so much inspiration from people in this group. Every time I scroll through the fan page, it's like I get a whole new idea of something to do. So a lot of what I'm sharing is not stuff I thought of. Believe me. It's a lot of stuff that I have been inspired by you guys to do. And so, so just know that. I have definitely been borrowed. I've borrowed a lot of ideas. So it's, if ever you're getting stuck, like, it's just really fun to come back through this group and look through what other people are doing. Okay. Should we talk about stickers? We should talk about stickers, shouldn't we? Because if you're, a planner girl or a memory keeper, you might have some stickers left over. And I think too, sometimes the stickers are the trickiest because it's impossible, like literally impossible, for Cocoa Daisy to have stickers that are going to match everyone's planning style. It's just impossible, because if you planning and memory keeping, I should say, there's just so many different, beautiful planner snowflakes out there. So I think the thing to remember with the stickers is, try to use them in ways that make sense for you. And, maybe experiment with new ways to use stickers. But also, like, it's okay if you can't use all the stickers, because I think for me, the stickers are the things I will happily use over and over again every month. So this is my Cocoa Daisy sticker organization thing, I guess, or photo album. So some of these are Cocoa Daisy. Some of these are just stamped stickers that I've made. But like these I pull from all the time because they're functional, and I'll use them next month or the next month or whatever. The other thing about stickers is that because they're small, they're a little bit easier to store. I had a question. My biggest issue is each month. Oh, I don't know which size to use. B6, A5, rings, TN. Melissa, you and me. I mean, if you could see the different. I mean, so many of us are in that camp of, we just don't know which, size. And the real beauty of Cocoa Daisy is, but if you do it before the 18th Mary Kay, is that right? As long as you are, letting Cocoa Daisy know, you can switch literally every month if you wanted to. I have been, let's just have been in B6. So this is March last year. No, this is February of last year. Yep, I've been in B6. I've been in Mini Dory. So cute. I actually love this size, but not for planning. And then I finally have settled on, which was my love all along, the Standard Dory. Now, I have, for a couple months, been trimming down my Standard Dory insert from an A5. And I chose the A5 because the A5 for me at the time was the most versatile. So with A5 Traveler's Notebook, it can be standard wide, it can be standard. If you flip it on its side, it can be A6. So there's a lot of, you can disc bind it, you can put it in rings. The A5 Traveler's Notebook, to me, you can make it B6. You can do it has the most flexibility because it's the biggest. So I love the A5 Traveler's Notebook because it allowed me to play around in lots of different sizes, which was really, which was great. And then I didn't feel bad. And I would use the insert because I got to use it the way I wanted to. Ooh, Mary Kay, you're in B6 rings? Oh, how fun. That is actually the one size I have not dipped my toes into, just because I can't. I think I've finally found planner harmony, which is what I'm calling it, because it ain't peace. It's never going to be peaceful. It's always going to be a little bit chaotic. A lay flat solution. Yeah, I hear that. And so anyway, that is a really nice option with Cocoa Daisy, is that they get it. They know that us planner girls are going to change our minds. There are people on the team, me included, who have within the same month changed our totally changed our planner setups 3 times. And that's just how we roll. I just am in 15 planners right now, so there's nothing to change. It's just I'm just in a lot of them. So maybe B6 rings is my next endeavor. We'll see. It's never gonna happen. Rings are actually the one thing I'm at this point pretty sure I'm done with for regular planning. Okay, so let's talk about the Dory insert for a second, because I did have a question. I did have somebody say they wanted to hear about ways to use all the pages in your standard Dory or in your Dory insert. So I'm using a standard Dory in a Webster's Pages cover. And I've been doing this for the last couple months. It is my wellness planner. And so it's all things having to do with basically mind, body, soul, mostly the body part. I've had some health complications the last couple months, and so having a place that I can track my fitness, my food, my habits, all of that kind of stuff has been crucial, and this little guy has been it. You can go to my YouTube. I do have a setup and flip through of this, but I currently use the front section for, as you can see, food, fitness, and how I'm feeling. And like how I'm feeling is like, do I have gut rot? Like, am I, are my insides on fire? That kind of thing. And so every week is set up the same way. Because it is undated, I use the stickers from the planner kit to date the pages. And so that's the first half. Yes. Ooh. Oh, that's a good idea. Personal size for daily planning. Yeah. This is one of the blank pages in the middle, and this is what I put my habit tracker on. And this is a printout, a printable, that is online that I used for that. And look, I use the pocket pages, I use paper scraps, I use some more paper scraps, I use another pocket card. And I actually I'm already looking at this area, and I'm gonna go in and embellish it some more because I can't even help myself. And then this is an open page with one of the cards from, I believe, the add-on kit. That might be wrong. And here I'm going to be listing like my physical achievements, like my working out achievements, things that I'm really proud about that I did for the month of March. So that's something. So if you have, these extra pages, you can use them to, journal something really specific. That maybe you don't need 100 pages for, but just something you want to kind of like note throughout the month. If you saw towards the beginning, I used this open page just because I had an open page, and I decided to put some of my favorite social media, my Instagram photos on the... It's really hard to here we go. Hi! So these are some of my favorite photos, and I just put them all on a grid and then put them on the page, and then just a big quote. And then the back of the insert, this had to be done. It had to be done. This is just because, again, I had extra pages. It's kind of memory keeping, but mostly it was just like therapeutic to just have a page about code vid stay K. And how perfect is this quote? The quote says, "The secret of change is to focus all your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new." Yes, we've got a new world around here. And so I will put a little bit more, just extra stuff here. Probably a few photos. Here's the thing. I'll print photos 4 or 5 times. They'll show up in my memory planner. They'll show up in my journal. They'll show up everywhere because I don't mind having multiples of photos because sometimes I'm telling a different story with that photo. So that's it's not super hard for me to print photos, and so I'll print them multiple times in different sizes, all that. I like photos, so I'm going to put them everywhere. And then in the back, I have my daily download, which is basically what I achieved for the day, and then some things I'm grateful for. And that's the whole insert. I've used it all up. I'm so proud of myself that I finally figured out how to use the whole insert. But I've had months where, I didn't use the whole insert. And so some other ideas for ways to use up your insert, a gratitude list. So just like a word or two a day of just, things you're grateful for, or just things that made you smile. Sometimes I feel like gratitude feels really like, gotta get in like a mood and like, oh, I'm just, like what made you smile today? Like what was, or like another thing that I definitely want to add this month, and I might even have to do a tip in to do it, is like all of the great, hilarious quotes and memes and things that I've seen that have just literally made me like laugh out loud. I definitely want to add that onto one of the blank pages, and I might actually, see, look, you're helping me out. That's what I'm going to add. I am going to add that to, where'd it go? My COVID vacay. I'm putting memes, putting funny quotes. That's what's going to go here. So yeah, that's another option. Another idea for the extra Dory pages are so habit trackers, as I mentioned, and grocery lists. Or like just having dedicated pages for either like meal planning, grocery lists, or brain dump, like just a place. So here, a place to just put all the things. So when I was using the standard Dory in June, we were moving. And so one of my pages was our move out list. One of the pages was the move in list. And so that took up some of my pages. I also decided this month to do a Dutch door. And so that used up a lot of pages for this particular insert. You can put the Cocoa Daisy challenge on one of the pages. And then on the other page, you could put the photos that you posted. Here I have Post-it notes. So I was using this as a brain dump. And yeah, those are kind of my main ideas. I know I'm missing some things. And if you follow, again, if you go through the Cocoa Daisy fan page and follow some of the team members and some of the other great contributors, you'll see that people are using these pages in lots of different ways all the time. The photo page. I sometimes what happens to me a lot is that I will print way more photos than I can actually use in my memory planner, my like weekly memory planning pages. And so I will add, I'll just add them into my standard Dory insert instead. Okay. I feel like, will this cut me off in an hour? I think it is going to cut me off an hour. So I want to keep moving, I guess. But I'm going to stop for a second and see if there are any questions people have. And I'm not seeing any new questions. Hopefully I'm not missing anything. But I guess the last thing I wanted to mention is, like, at the end of the day, you're just not going to use everything in your kit. And so there are a couple options of things to do with your leftovers. I feel like I wish you could see me and then I didn't have to see me. That would be great. So the thing to think about is at the end of the month, when you still have stuff left over, because you're going to have some stuff left over. Think about sorting the stuff that you have left over into keep, give away, and throw away. Because you can't keep it all. You can't give it all away. Some things you're just going to have to throw away. Nobody's going to know. The Cocoa Daisy police aren't going to come after you. You for the sake of storage and, your sanity, you may have to throw some things away. So in your keep pile, items you know you will use in the future, either because you love them or because they work with other, other projects or whatever it may be. Keep it, but then have a system for organizing it. So don't. It's helpful. Well, there's two ways you can do that. You can either keep it all together, and put it in like a little shelf or on a box all together, or you can split everything up. So like things that I tend to split up: sticky notes, note cards, the pocket cards, because I need to use them. When I'm looking for them, I'm going to be looking for sticky notes. So I want to pull all the sticky notes and find the ones I want to use. The notepads, I want to just have all the notepads together so that I can, find the one that I want to use. And then the pocket cards, again, same deal. I want to have all my pocket cards together. And then giveaway are things that you're not likely going to use, but is still in good condition. And something that you think that would bring somebody else joy. So, I said it. It's you can't keep it all. You just can't. Maybe you can. I mean, that's fine. But sometimes if you have like, or just use it. Like if you're about to throw it away, just like put it on a page somewhere so that you can say you didn't throw it away. In fact, actually, I'm going to go back for a second and say, if you haven't created a junk journal yet, or a commonplace book or something, or a playbook where you can just put all of that stuff that you were maybe thinking about throwing away, I highly encourage that. I think it's a great way to just feel like you used your extra items in a way that feels like helpful to you. I do the same sort of by type. So okay, Christine, thank you. So sometimes you just need to throw things away, because for some people having the clutter makes them more anxious than throwing the items away. And again, I'm not talking about like throwing whole sticker sheets away. I'm talking about like, you're never going to use whatever sticker it is, and you can't give somebody like a sticker sheet that has like 2 stickers on it. So like, maybe just chuck it. But the other option too is like, if you have those 2 stickers on a sheet, put it in a notebook or a junk journal or some place where it's now has a home, but it's not like part of your planner home or memory keeping home, but now it has a home. Because storing, once you start to accumulate a lot of these kits, it does get challenging storing all of this, the leftovers. So the first thing, use it, like use the stuff as much as you can. And then at the end of the month, you're going to have some left over. So sort it, keep it, give it away, or throw it away, or throw it onto a junk journal page. Some things are hard. Some things are just challenging to store. And so sometimes it's just easier to, gift it to someone. Great places to give items, hospitals, schools, faith-based organizations. If we're talking like papers and stuff, like, there's lots of organizations that would happily use papers like this to make cards for veterans, or cards for shut-ins, all sorts of things. So so you might never go back to old kits. I do tend to go back and reuse items pretty often, and I do also like to combine kits. So when I see a color palette from a kit, I'm always thinking about what former kits would this pair with. So like I got a lot of ideas for the April kit with all of the like bright rainbow colors. So like those kit items are going to look amazing with my leftovers from last March. So I do tend to pair. I like to pair new and old kits together. And that's kind of all I have. I hope this was enjoyable for you all, and I hope you got some ideas. Again, I'm Rachel, but I am the life facilitator on Instagram and on not Facebook, on YouTube. So I have a lot of videos and posts where I do try to, show these things in my posts too. So, thank you. And I hope to do this again. I hope this was fun. And if you have any ending questions, I'd love to hear them. And then if you have any more questions after the live, feel free to message me on the Life Facilitator so that I can respond to your questions. Oh, yay! Oh, Natasha! Hi! Have you been in here the whole time? Natasha is my planner bestie. Oh my gosh. Yay! Okay, good. Well, I'm so glad you all enjoyed. I hope you enjoy all of the other amazing content that the team is going to be putting out over the next couple of weeks. So we want to connect with you all. We want to reach out, and this is kind of a weird time, and so let's all just join together and get crafty, right? So there is a live tomorrow. So I hope you guys can join in on that one. I'll be there. And it's been really fun. So I guess I'll see you guys all later.